designing it, and I think we can design out a lot of our problems at the front end. Hi guys, I'm going to give you 10 top tips to design in solar, whether you're in a commercial or domestic environment. We'll change a little bit, or industrial, or even ground mount might come into that as well. So site assessment. Let's when we're doing our initial desktop survey and looking at, can this site take solar? Taking into account lots of different things: shading, orientation. Let's get the building the right way around on the drawings. Let's get it the right way around on the pictures. Let's confirm it's the right building as well. Had that a few times with the projects. So a good solid site assessment. Just take a few moments on the overview to get your head into, is this the right building? Have I got it pointing the right way round? Is this the latest image of this building? Dropping into different formats and getting the client to send you a couple of photos makes a massive difference when it comes to designing solar for a property. The energy needs, so the analytics of that property, are they high, medium, low user? Are they, so don't overcrowd it, and obviously if you need to spend more and put more panels on, then let's go work that out. But within analysing those needs, are they heavy in the morning, heavy in the evening? Are you putting an east-west system on? Should you be going west is best, or should you be trying to catch those evening rays? So let's have an analytic approach to how we design the solar. It's much better for everyone. System orientation and tilt. See this absolutely loads. Not every system is south at 35 degrees in the UK. Sometimes they are, but most of the time they're at all different angles, and sometimes using design software it can pre-populate that as an angle for you and create your problems later on when a client is expecting a higher yield. That's just one of those super quick top tips. Using high quality components within the design process. Some of the free software it can be a bit glitchy and can sometimes put the wrong size panels in there. So let's use some high quality design software. Grid integration, sometimes has the building got a grid connection for you to connect to? If not, you're going off grid. Good luck guys if you've never done it before. It is good fun. Off grid is interesting. Firing up those inverters for the first time is quite an achievement when you do your first one. But is it three phase? Is it single phase? And whereabouts in the building is that? Should you be allowing twice as much on the DC? Some softwares enable you to now put in the resistance on the DC cables, and we should be communicating that right at the front end, especially in design process. Especially if we're working on behalf of a client who hasn't told the end client their costings yet, because we're going to have to work out those DC cable lengths and costs, and that can bring us unstuck pretty quickly. Scalability and future proofing. So scalability. Is this the right size for now? Is this the right size for this client in 6 months' time? Are they planning on having a fleet of EVs at that location? Could they be changing from their stack of trucks from gas to electric? Everybody says they are, but financially are they ready for that? Analysing those types of parts they are design principles for the solar, because we want to make sure we're getting that system size right for the client. It's always worth at this stage looking at a battery. Is it worth, kind of when we're doing our design stage here, doing our initial analytics, going, is this client suitable per battery? When we're looking at that load profile, when we're looking at that generation profile, the orientation of the roof, is that building empty 2 days a week? So taking that into account of, should we have a battery? Design principles for a battery is probably a separate video, but is it safe, and is it going to be compliant with the local regulations in that area? This is a fun one in certain national heritage sites, in certain greenbelt areas. It can get pretty sticky. Always make sure you are confirming that you've got the right to fit those there, because as the guy screwing it to the roof, you're going to be liable for that, as well as the guy specifying it. Let's make sure that we've got permission to put panels where we're planning on putting those panels. I think a real important principle to take into consideration at the beginning is also the monitoring of that system. When we're designing it, is it going to be individually string monitored? Is it going to be individually panel monitored with a lovely little micro inverter working his socks off in there? Or are we going to be full system monitoring this? It's a principle that we've got to put in place quite early on, because it will help us decide which inverter we're going to use. It's going to help us to decide where that inverter is going within the location. Do we have a separate power management unit that's going to communicate to our grid? Is it over the grid side on our inverters to give us all of those types of things? And kind of the final principle to try and keep in mind when designing solar is the aesthetics of it. There's a lot of the time where we're like, oh, black frame, black edge, black panel. There's also in roof. That's a beautiful thing to look at when we're driving past a few times, when you see those lovely domestic properties. Should it be in roof in a location like this, with wind loading like this? Should it be in roof? It's a very interesting angle to take on things, is the aesthetic side of things. Sometimes when you're working with an architect, they'll specify that they want a silver frame or an aluminium frame or black rails. So it's just one thing to keep in mind when we're designing those solar systems. I really hope that's added value. I hope that's added a bit more knowledge and depth into those areas, and just opened our minds on how to approach solar projects. I really hope these videos are being helpful for guys out there in the industry. There are a lot of you guys thrown into the deep end, just expected to crack on and design. 2 days sat with YouTube on trying to learn how to do it. But there's a lot to take in. There's a lot of the roofing side of it to take in. There's a lot of the electrical side to take in. And then there's the actual physicality of how do we get a 1.6 metre by 2 metre panel up onto that roof. It's a lot more complicated when we're designing it, and I think we can design out a lot of our problems at the front end. I think we can go in front of our teams in our minds and strategically get the project to a point where it is commercially viable, as well as safer, as well as we've avoided all the pitfalls, because we've taken like these 10 things into consideration. I hope that's helped. I hope that's added value. Like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the next video.